Okay, so what you see on this table here is what you're going to need. We'll go over that here real quickly. Need yourself some granulated sugar and some flour, some yogurt. Just make sure it's plain if you can find it. I'm sure vanilla will work. Stay away from the Greek yogurt. Go ahead and just get your regular yogurt. And you want some vanilla extract. This Mexican vanilla blend works out really well. And this stuff lasts forever. Get yourself some vegetable oil, an egg, some baking soda, baking powder. You're going to want yourself either some of these or something like this, or maybe both. And we'll get to that. And some water. It's a cup and a half of water. Some hazelnuts. And some dark chocolate chips. And of course you need yourself a slow cooker. Pretty much you're going to want this one, the Express slow cooker, or something like it, because that's what we're going to be cooking in. Now it might work in other slow cookers, but what we're doing is going to be specific to this one. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is spray our little container that we're going to be making the bread in. And I always get one of each of these sprays, and I get these at Walmart. I like to have one of each, so that way I have a little bit of variety. In this case, since we're using vegetable oil, we're going to use this. So what we're going to go ahead and do here... Oh, didn't even mention the bananas before. You want some bananas. You want some ripe bananas. You may have been wondering, what in the world is that dark stuff? I don't know. We're not going to spray the camera. Alright, so going to want to get yourself some vegetable oil, and we'll just go ahead and just spray that in there. And we're going to be using probably at least more than one, but we'll spray it after we get stuff made. But okay, so we got one. We'll spray more if we need it. Okay, so to start things off with, we are going to put... Do I even have enough flour here? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the flour, and we need 1.5 cups, which I barely had enough of. So there's our 1 cup. And we got a 1/2 cup here. And we'll just go ahead and put that in our sink. Then we're going to go ahead and get ourselves some baking powder. And we need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So here's a 1/2 there. Another 1/2. And of course, another 1/2 right there. Now we're going to reuse this, and we're going to get a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. After you rinse off your 1/2 teaspoon, so that way you don't contaminate the baking soda right here. We're going to go ahead and put 1 teaspoon in there. So we got a 1/2. And we have another 1/2. I neglected to mention that we're going to need salt. Just a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That's why this is cooking for the rest of us. Just dump that in there. So the next thing that you need is one of these, a whisk. Now keep in mind, if you don't have any of this stuff, it really doesn't cost that much, and it's good for a long time. So what we're going to do is just whisk this up here. That would be one of the cats. generally you don't want them as part of your recipe. Alright. Probably don't need to use a whisk, but that's what we're doing. We're going to get this nice and mixed up here. And another bowl, we're going to go ahead and take our egg. And with one hand, yes, we're going to go ahead and get 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Next, it's time to put a 1/2 cup of yogurt in there, and 5.3 ounces turned out perfectly as far as 1/2 cup. You'll need 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 1 teaspoon of that awesome Mexican vanilla, or just regular vanilla extract. And now we'll go ahead and we'll just mash up our bananas right here. Now naturally, if they're ripe, meaning they're dark, they're going to mash a lot easier. You can do this with bananas that are not ripe. They just won't be as easy to mash, but it can still be done. So now we're going to go ahead and whisk this until it's really good. Highly recommend just getting one of these little hand blender whisker things, because you'll use it a lot and they're simple and easy to clean. And we'll just go ahead and whisk this until it's nice and blended. Once you've got that done, you go ahead and get your mashed bananas and just go ahead and put them on in there. And we'll whisk this until it's all nice and blended. Now that we're all done, we're going to go ahead and just pour this right into our flour mix. Of course, the spatula is always good to get all this in here. And now we're just going to go ahead and stir this. Now we're going to have ourselves a 1/2 cup of hazelnuts and a 1/2 cup of the chocolate chips. I've got morsels, and I'm getting a little bit of liberal here with it because chocolate chips. And we're going to go ahead and just fold this stuff over here. Now that you got all that done, we're going to go ahead and just fill up our containers like that, like magic. We didn't even need a third one here. Okay, so we'll get right over here to your express cooker here. This is where you're going to need your water. Make sure your steaming grill is right there. And just go ahead and just pour your 1.5 cups of water in right there. Okay, you'll go ahead and set your little containers in here. That just barely fits. We'll get this thing sealed up. But before you seal that, what you're going to want to do is get yourself a piece of paper towel, maybe one that's not so big, and lightly and you're going to go ahead and lightly cover up your bread pan, just lightly. And we're going to go ahead and get some foil and just kind of place that in there like that. Then we'll go ahead and seal that. Make sure your pressure is to seal, so that way you get your pressure cooking in here. We will go ahead and set this to, where the hell is it? We will go ahead and set this to multigrain. We'll set this to high pressure, and then 1 hour. And it'll warm itself up, and we'll come back and check in an hour. All right, let's try it. I gotta tell you, this is amazing. It's smooth. Oh man, it's chocolate. The hazelnuts, and it's just it's soft. It worked really well inside the slow cooker. So hey, I hope you found this video good and helpful and useful as far as making some banana bread in your slow cooker. And hey, make sure you check out some of the other videos that we got as far as just making things in your own kitchen, and enjoy.